on your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Tuesday, halftime. How is everybody doing on this bright and sunny day? It is gorgeous across northwest Arkansas. I'm assuming it's the same around the River Valley. And
beautiful here.
Good.
Quite lovely. Quite lovely.
Voices, it's even
like yesterday, it almost felt like it was a springtime day.
Yeah, I got up to like 60-something here, but today it's going to be a little chillier. I think high of 47.
Opened the windows yesterday and the door here in my bedroom/studio.
Let it air out.
Let the air, come in here. Maybe get the sweaty foot smell out for at least a day or so. And then I got, what they say about where you get a wild hair every once in a while. I got one of those last night. I did.
It looks like you're in a completely different location now.
That's
it
right.
Does.
Mm-hmm. Those who are watching on our live video stream can tell things are situated a little bit differently in the bedroom studio.
Did you turn the desk sideways?
Turn the desk, moved some of the furniture around.
Weren't really feeling the bookshelf behind you, or?
Well, we're just here it is. I've lived in this place here for however long it's been since August, and still haven't put anything on the walls. I don't know. Maybe is this a guy thing where we don't decorate the walls of the house you're living in when you first move there for at least half a year? That's the thing that happened when the last place I lived. I can't seem to find the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Motivation?
Yeah, the motivation, the inspiration. I need Peter Cetera to sing to me. I need some inspiration.
That place
I don't want to put anything on the wall.
That place needs a feminine touch.
Oh, yeah. This place and everything else.
I think it really determines just how committed you are to the place, kind of like on a subconscious level, and also where you are in your life. Like when I was in college and I was constantly, even now that I'm out of college, I still move pretty much every year. So for the first few years, I'd go big. I'd hang up the flags. I'd hang up pictures and stuff. Really decorate the place. Make it feel homey, right? Mm-hmm. Last few years, I hang up, I think in my apartment, I've got a few Memphis things on the wall, my signed Jim Palmer picture, and that's it.
Sounds like the basic necessities.
Yeah.
You want it to be easy to pick up and move again.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing when my lease is up in June.
You know what the whole idea behind that is? It's a rolling stone gathers no moss.
Yeah.
So, there's no moss.
If I keep moving, why take the time of putting holes into the wall that I'm then going to have to try to patch over so I can make sure I get my deposit back?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so things feel a little bit different in here. I don't know. It feels like a different bedroom studio.
Is it the feng shui better? Your chi feel good?
Oh, I don't think there's any feng or shui going on in here right now.
Is Kiki the cat? How does she feel about it?
Yeah, how is she doing?
The word flow does not work in my living spaces. I don't know. She's not here right now, so she's probably pretty upset with that.
She found
trying to feel it out. Feels like it's different, so that's fine.
Well, things will be here's the segue. Things will be a little bit different for the Arkansas football coaching staff coming up for this upcoming season.
That's why you're a pro.
Yeah, it's just trying to
that's talent. That's talent right there,
move
folks.
From the pleasantries into the content of the day. Ryan already wants to talk about Kamani Johnson. We'll get into that in the next segment because
we've got a plan, people. We do know what we're doing here.
Well, Matt,
it's kind of a rundown.
Sorry, I know you guys want to talk about sports, but Matt wants us to know that it's 90 degrees in Michigan, but it's sunny though. He's on.
Oh,
Facebook.
At least it's sunny.
Yeah, I was wondering what it was like in Michigan right now.
Now's the time to be outside with that aluminum thing under your chin, so you can get a little sun on your neck.
The aluminum foil reflector.
Yeah, that's the only way to make sure that your neck looks as good as the rest of your body.
I always have
Are those
a problem
things
with
like
getting
real?
my neck.
I've only ever seen them in 80s movies. I don't know if those things actually exist. Have you ever
he had
seen
a great
someone
neck tan.
ever seen one use one of those reflecting shields in real life?
And here it was. I thought those were just to keep dogs from biting and biting their wounds. What happened to the segue? We had a segue.
Oh, sorry.
going
Back
on
to
here.
sports.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. You're going to be looking for 2 new defensive assistant coaches now. It's like you're rebuilding the defense in a lot of ways, right? not just in the personnel, but now in the coaching staff on that side of the ball. So now you're looking for a new defensive line coach. I still got more texts yesterday about rumors of Ed Orgeron, which just blows me. We don't even need to get into it.
I put it to bed yesterday.
You tried to, but I don't think everybody wants to. It's too much fun to think about that idea. So, and now you're going to need a new secondary coach with Sam Carter moving over to Ole Miss, which, Jermichael Ashley gets canned. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, what was the deal there? Was it recruiting? Was it not enough development on the line? I think it's probably a combination of both. Sam Carter, I don't know if that is necessarily the case. He's making a lateral move to a rival inside the division, which essentially is the same thing that two members of his secondary have already done, Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks. Transfer portal, signing a new contract with another team.
Tomato.
6 and 1/2 dozen the other in this case. So, but it felt like Carter did a pretty good job with that secondary. I think they improved as the season went on. You didn't see quite as many guys getting beaten late in the year. Mm-hmm. I will say a couple of Penn State wide receivers that got loose and their QB just couldn't hit them. Clifford couldn't hit them. But the secondary was not only a point of positivity for Arkansas defense this past year, but it also was kind of like the position of strength, or at least the group of strength moving into next year when you were looking at the guys coming back, and now getting McLaughlin and Brini on that secondary. It looks like it's really going to be a darn good secondary. It's going to be with a different coach, though. Yeah,
and I know some people are out there, especially when you look on Twitter, and the keyboard warriors out there wanting to hate on Sam Carter and the lateral move, and what are you doing? I mean, why would you leave Arkansas for Oxford, Mississippi, and all these other things, and the jokes that we like to make about the University of Mississippi, or Old Maid, as we decided to call it yesterday.
Thank you, JT.
Thank you, JT. But it's not like he left the cupboards bare. It's not like Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks just bolted and then he was like, you know what, deuces, and left without replacing what he had lost. I think most people would say that you won the transfer portal and you won the battle between what you lost and what you picked up. So I feel like it should be almost a goodbye on good terms. If maybe he's got family, I don't know his personal situation. I don't know the background of Sam Carter as much as I probably should. But there's so many different reasons to move, whether it's professional, personal. It's his choice. It's his life. And I think that the fact that he replaced what was lost in the transfer portal before he left should be something people remember, instead of just, he left us, he ain't us, we hate him type of situation.
But what is it left? What is it and now moving forward for the program? And Sam Pittman hasn't had to replace that many assistant coaches. I mean, you lose Brad Davis before the summer last year, and Cody Kennedy slides into the offensive line and looked like he did a pretty darn good job with it. I mean, he's an up-and-coming offensive line coach. That worked out really well. You lost Derek LeBlanc, who was the original defensive line coach hired by Coach Pittman. He took the job at Kentucky, brought on Jermichael Ashley, and I guess in Sam Pittman's mind that didn't work out the way he would have liked because he's been fired. So now Sam Carter, cornerbacks coach, has gone after 2 years, and it's this is the biggest thing that head coaches do. They set tones in the locker room. They you work with your beliefs and your philosophy about what a football team is supposed to be good at. You got to go do interviews. You got to go do radio shows. You got to be tweeting and all of that kind of stuff. It's CEO stuff, right? Yeah. And what does a CEO also do? Hires vice presidents, executive vice presidents, stuff like that, and assistant coaches, which is really the thing that propels the program moving forward. So
keeps the motor running.
It really does. And he did a great job putting the staff together, for crying out loud, when he first took over the job as the head coach. So, you got to have a lot of faith in Sam Pittman's ability to hire 2 new assistant coaches on the defensive staff.
And it's not just faith in Sam Pittman. you should have a lot of faith in a guy named Barry Odom, the DC of the Arkansas Razorbacks, who's going
works
to
with
have
the safeties and is going to be working with the cornerbacks.
He's going to have a pretty good working relationship of who they're going to hire. And last time I checked, Barry Odom's been in the coaching game for quite some time now. I feel like he's got some connections, got some phone numbers, and he knows what he's looking for in position coaches. So while you hate that, ultimately it just didn't work out with Ashley, that you had to let him go. You're not a big fan of the move that Sam Carter made, due to the fact that it is just a lateral move to another SEC West team. You still got to just feel okay about the path that this program is going because of the guys in charge. I mean, we talked about Kendall Briles all the time, and, leading up to him officially staying, the experience and leadership that you have in Sam Pittman and Barry Odom. I mean, the collective years between those two on so many different staffs and so many different situations under so many different guys is the most valuable thing that you have going for you right now when it comes to replacing these guys. Sam Pittman and Barry Odom know what a good staff looks like. They've been a part of many before, and I can guarantee they're going to make the right hires. These aren't going to be rushed decisions. Barry Odom knows what he's doing. Sam Pittman knows what he's doing. Everything's going to be fine. Just because Sam Carter went to Old Maid doesn't mean the sky's going to fall again.
I don't see anybody thinking that the sky's going to fall because I think they're believing the same thing you are. And, hey, I feel like they already upgraded from the players they lost in the transfer portal, the guys they've brought in. Maybe, just maybe, there'll be an upgrade in the cornerbacks coach as well. And that's no slight on Sam Carter. Maybe, just maybe, there's somebody better out there. And they want to play. They want to work here. They want to work at Arkansas. Just like Latavius Brini wants to take that national championship ring away from Georgia and play for another one at Arkansas. Just like Drew Sanders is taking, I'm sure they're giving a runners-up ring. He's coming here to play for Arkansas to try to win another one. So there you go. The table is set. This is a place that people want to come to try to compete now for an SEC West championship and just maybe be a better coach than Sam Carter coming in here whenever Sam Pittman makes that choice.
It's all good, man. Just everybody breathe.
877-377-6963 to get with us. Tera Talmadge joining us at 12:30 from our new friend. Well, they've always been friends, but now it's kind of like official. We've put it on Facebook.
We've made it public.
We have a relationship status with Pig Trail Nation. I'm not exactly sure the way to put it.
Facebook official.
Yeah, it is. It's Facebook, YouTube official.
Is that still a thing in people's relationships? That I know that was a big thing in high school when you were talking or dating a girl. She'd get mad if you didn't accept her relationship status update. And you were never really in a relationship till Facebook knew you were in a relationship. Is that still a thing for the youngins and the kids today?
All I know is that I don't think we need to be doing the dual Facebook account with Pig Trail Nation like you see some couples do. Somebody doesn't trust somebody when you see that.
Exactly.
All right. We'll also be getting into the National Baseball Hall of Fame election announcement, which is later today at 5 o'clock. We will talk lots of basketball, NFL football, and whatever else the callers want to get into. So stay with us on Halftime.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
For the Elite Eight, Arkansas has won. Arkansas is going to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1995.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics.
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with a
bullion and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue, across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
SEC basketball games tonight. Alabama at Georgia should be a big blow. Boy, when you're a home dog by 15 points, things are not going well for you. Auburn is #1 for the first time ever, and they are a 13-point road favorite at Mizzou. And then Kentucky's the only home team that's favored today. Take on Mississippi State. That'll be the late game on ESPN. Drew, you said maybe you would watch Old Maid and Florida last night because you didn't have any Monday Night Football. So did you waste your time at that game yesterday?
I did not. I decided, so in the last it's been 2-3 weeks in my spare time when I'm not watching sports or working or doing something.
Watching sports is work.
Technically it's work. It is.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to sit there with a 6-pack of Budweiser and watch these games.
The world needs people to sit around and watch sports too.
You're paid to watch the games, not the beer.
Well,
that's the
beer's
spare
more
time
the benefit.
Stuff. Yeah.
So in my spare time for the last month or so, because they HBO Max put on the Harry Potter 20-year anniversary reunion thing.
Has it been 20 years already?
Since the first one. Wow. So I've been rewatching all the Harry Potter. So last night I finally was able to finish the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and then I watched the reunion thing.
Of course.
And then I did turn on Texas Tech Kansas, so I watched about a good half of that before I fell asleep.
Of it, but I saw that saw the box score. It looked like it was a great game.
Did not stay up to finish it because it didn't even tip off till 8 o'clock. So
well, I think
I was asleep by the beginning of the second half.
Drew, I think the Old Maid Florida game would have put you to sleep because it was 22-22 at halftime. So if you stayed awake through that, chances are you downed a whole pot of coffee or something like 6 o'clock in the evening. Mississippi ended up winning by 15 with a good second half. And even with a win over Florida, Old Maid's net ranking moved all the way up to 115.
Ooh.
Arkansas's number is net number 55 right now. These net rankings are now starting to
get real important.
Mean something because the committee's quadrant rankings and all that kind of stuff will be coming out. Really, I mean, in the next couple of weeks, you should start seeing that stuff come out. And the Hogs need these quality wins. I mean, a win over LSU. It was a pretty quality win. Certainly when it comes to the net, I saw it was really funny. Like LSU's lost a couple games in a row, and everybody in Baton Rouge is all up in arms about it. And I forget what media member it was, but they tried to be, hey, let's chill out for a minute here. And they showed all the resume wins for LSU and the overall record, and their net ranking is 10. Even with 4 losses, LSU's net ranking is 10, which is third best in the SEC. Arkansas, number 55. And this is you've got 4 wins in a row. It should be an 8-game winning streak when you take on Auburn. It should be 8 wins in a row. This Old Maid game tomorrow is you better not lose that game. That's a must win. It really is, and it's unfortunate that's the case. But you got to win over net number 115 on the road. You get WVU at home on Saturday. Their net ranking is 50. So that's a possible quadrant 1 win right there. And then Georgia on the road again. I can't wait to see what Arkansas is favored in that game on the road. 6, 7, 8.
I'd say somewhere between 8 and 10. But ultimately, outside, because you dug yourself the hole that is Hofstra, and then the embarrassing loss to OU, the 0-3 start in SEC. Unfortunately, a lot of these games are must win. I mean, the only games that I think you can really afford to lose would be Auburn at home, at Bama, Tennessee at home, Kentucky, and probably need to at least split the final 2 either at Tennessee or at home against LSU. Every other game in there, Florida, Missouri State, Georgia, Ole Miss, and West Virginia, they have to be wins. Because you just can't afford any more notches in that right-hand column, even against some of these good teams. Because I think with the last 4-game win streak and with that big road win against LSU, you've now put yourself in a good position. Now, I think you still, if you ended up losing all those games that I just talked about against the right opponents, you're going to need some help. But I feel like you've put yourself in a decent position to squeak in right now. Now, you need a few of those games to go your way to have a shot at, getting above maybe that 7 seed line.
Yeah, the seeding is the thing. Those 2 losses you'd mentioned earlier, to the Oklahoma loss, the point differential in that loss, and still I can't call it neutral site. Home loss to Hofstra it really hurts you. And that's one thing that never happened last year. You went undefeated.
Didn't have that bad loss.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Well, you didn't go undefeated non-conference. You ended up losing your Big 12 matchup against Oklahoma State, but still. But you do get Kamani Johnson back. And, I mean, I think he's got to be, part of the sauce for this team right now. I think that's too much defense, too much rebound, and too much attitude. I love the attitude that Kamani plays with. But, Umude's playing really well right now. Trey Wade is playing really well, doing a lot of things that don't even show up in the box score. So those are the 2 guys' minutes that I think Kamani could eat into. And maybe if Jalen gets into some foul trouble here and there, but they don't necessarily play the same position. But I do want to see Kamani in there. I think I guess I've wasted too much breath, saying what he can mean to this team for these last 3 months. And I think it was obvious when he started to get some minutes, and with Trey Wade too. But anyway, I mean, tomorrow it's must win. You can't go to Old Maid and lose.
You definitely have to win this one. And when you talk about Kamani Johnson and where he really fits it into this rotation, and Musselman has found his guys, his recipe for success in his last 4 games, and it's been that 7-man rotation. And if he's going to get into that 8-man, or I guess Kamani would be the 7th if we're saying Chris Likes would probably be the 8-man out of this rotation.
Evo's the 6th man right now, and it's working well in that case, for most cases.
It is, but how many minutes does Kamani get? I mean, because like you said, Amude's playing so well, Trey Wade is playing so well.
16
I don't think we need all 5 starters to be playing, north of 28, 30 minutes or anything like that. So there are minutes out there for him to get, but I think that it's probably under 10. I'd say he probably steals. I say he steals 6 or 7 from Trey Wade, and just the way Amude's been playing the last few games, I think only steals about 3 to 2 minutes of his.
Did you almost Elmer Fudd Trey's name there?
I did. Wade.
Ooh, Tway Wade coming out. Tway Wade coming out to score some points.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna get that pesky wabbit.
He gets more rebounds than he does points.
He does.
Anyway. Yeah. All right. Enough of that. 877-377-6963. Got some of the text coming in. We'll get to that. We'll get to NFL divisional weekend as well. Tera Talmadge joining us in about an hour. And your calls and texts. Beautiful day to be alive. Beautiful day to be listening to the radio. Halftime on a Tuesday. Right back.
Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out. And love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfield by slicing a clean, close swath up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high visibility all-weather cab. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
This could be a podcast. The Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast, the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast, and the Fish City Grill Ruskin and Zach podcast. Weekdays on the Hit That Line Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in Arkansas. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe and share.
Well, the guys over there are hilarious, man.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Looking for a new propane heater? Right now, Metters Lumber True Value has a 30,000 BTU tank top propane heater for just $79.99 while supplies last. It features double burner heads that swivel independently and offers variable control for 18,000, 26,000, or 30,000 BTUs. Power up with this great bargain of the month and check out other ways to keep warm this winter at Metters Lumber True Value.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Whether you are visiting one of Arkansas's beautiful national parks, or traveling, or maybe just living the RV lifestyle, Breeden RV has everything you'll need to make your trip a successful one. We have new travel trailers starting at just $158 a month, all the way up to Class A, B, and C motorhomes, and fifth wheels from all the names you know and trust: Thor, Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and more. Check out the great selection of pre-owned inventory, and we are actively looking to buy your RV as well. Have a safe and happy new year from your friends at Breeden RV. BreedenRVs.com.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
First Western Bank. We are more than just a bank. We are your partner for all your financial services. First Western has real professionals with years of experience in banking, mortgage, insurance, and investments. From financial services to personal and business insurance to investment products, mortgages, and small business banking. First Western with locations throughout Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and online at firstwestern.com. Exceptional financial services all in one place. First Western Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! I want everybody to get up off your seat and get your arms together and your hands together and give me some of that old soul clapping. You didn't have to love me like you did, but you did, and I thank you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, let's clean out this text line here. JT, yes, did get the thanks for the old maid invention. Says, can't lose another home game. You could probably lose at home to Auburn and be okay. It may need to be.
You'd like to win.
We'll see. Let's see. Larry and Barling. More Ed O stuff.
Oh, Larry.
More Ed O
Larry.
stuff. Great line coach, recruiter. Maybe Pitt can use him. He ain't going to use him, Larry.
He's not coming.
It's a great story. Only Hollywood could write it. National championship coach. 2 seasons later fired. And then becomes the D-line coach at Arkansas. The very next year, he's not coaching this next season. He's eating hamburgers. Remember what he said? He's got enough money to buy a hamburger.
He's eating all them hamburgers and dating all those divorcees, and
it's going to
have a good old time.
It's going to be a bunch of D's, drivers, dine-ins, and divorcees for Eddie O. He ain't going to be here at Arkansas, I don't think, at least not now.
No.
Plus, he's not going to be a position coach. I just don't see it. And did Greg and Fort Smith send us a photo of food? No, it's something else. It's music. Never mind. Oh, he loved the song you went into there.
Oh, yes. That's from the hit movie Breakfast Club.
Ah.
I mean, maybe some of you have seen it before.
I've heard of it, yeah.
I forgot to wake up early this morning and get in line for Hog Pen tickets. Do you guys remember to get there?
I thought you were
going to
get them for me.
You were supposed to get it for the whole
You said you're going to hold
crew.
my spot.
Well, I think the stations should have Razorback baseball tickets. We air the games. I just don't think they're Hog Pen tickets necessarily.
Well, that's where the real fans hang out. That's where I want to be. I want to be in the Hog Pen.
Be careful,
right?
Referring to the other folks as not real fans. They're spending
the rowdy
They're
fans.
spending more money now than before, I think, for at least the right to buy the tickets. So I think some of them have just kind of headed out to the Hog Pen, with the quote-unquote little people, the plebeians.
Well, I'm a little person myself, so I feel like
game.
I'd feel more comfortable with my own type of folk.
Well, that's where the wild stuff is going on.
I like wild.
And that's something to be said because the rest of Baum-Walker Stadium is already wild, but nothing is quite like the Hog Pen. But things are changing this next season. I can't wait to see what this is like. With the new building in right field, Arkansas is now taking up the first base dugout, which also means the right field bullpen. The Hog Pen is left field.
Uh-oh.
And the bullpen is in the crowd, essentially. So for the first time, like we used to isolate the visiting pitchers from the craziness. from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't near anybody out there in right field. Now they're in the middle of the complete and utter psychosis. I can't wait to see the fun, crazy, ridiculous, possibly criminal things that those in the hog pen are thinking about saying, chanting, daring, and doing to the visiting pitchers.
It's going to be interesting to see. I feel like within very short into the season, we're going to figure out where the line is because they're going to get really close to it.
If there is a line.
If there is a line. There is a line. Everybody knows there's a line. I mean, you can't say and do some things. Those are called crimes. And we need law and order to keep this country a chugging along. We need everybody to play by the rules here. So, but as far as fandom goes, we're going to figure out where the line is because they're going to push it. And I'm all for it. I can't wait to get into the hog pen. Are we talking like shotgun and beers? And
Did you say that rules were made to be broken?
No, I said rules were made to be followed.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've never heard that cliche before.
That's why they're rules.
You're asking what goes on out there?
Yeah, are we talking like, am I going to be able to shotgun a beer, take my shirt off, swing it around?
Yeah, what are the rules on how much clothing you have to wear?
Exactly. I mean, I need the lay of the land before I go out there. That way I don't look like a duck among geese.
Let me just give you a blanket yes on all of your questions.
If I feel like if I want to do it at a baseball game, the place to do it is a hog pen.
If you feel like your shirt is you need to be unencumbered of your shirt, so your armpit hair can be flashed for everybody on national television. Go for it, absolutely.
Personal coolers. I mean, we
shotgun a beer.
Shotgunnings.
There will be people around you you've never met before in your life that are ready to video it for you, so that you have proof that this happened. If you get to the point where you are so sick that you need to puke in someone else's cooler.
Yeah.
There are plenty of coolers to choose from out there, and I'm guessing by the time you get sick, some of those coolers will be empty.
So it all works out.
Yes.
So basically, you're telling me from next month through June, I'm just going to live in the hog pen because that just sounds like too much fun.
The trick is getting there early and sometimes. Because if you don't get there early, you're going to be way in the back.
So I just need to live at the hog pen.
Well, we need to get you a tiny house.
Okay.
A tiny house set up. Not some of those. I don't know if anybody has seen. You probably have if you've driven up Razorback Road, just south of Baum-Walker Stadium, across from the new the apartments that went up a couple of years ago are some. I guess they're housing units of some sort. They really look like they belong in Siberia as some part of a prison complex. I don't want you living there, Drew.
Okay.
You need to get a little tiny house or maybe an RV and put it in Roadhog Park, and then you can make sure you walk across the street, 3 hours before every game, and you get yourself early in the line, and then you can be one of the hog pen denizens.
Maybe I need to convince Dave Van Horn just to let me live in the locker room or something. Especially on maybe
Dave,
not.
I'm sure he's perfect. Yeah,
maybe not during the week, but if there's a weekend series, that way I can shower, have a nice cozy place to sleep, and that way I'm ready to go. I'm first one in line. I'll live here in Fort Smith Monday through Thursday, but come Friday,
do they have beds in the locker room?
I can make one.
No, but it's all a matter. I mean, a bed is really just where you lay your head.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I made a bed in my radio booth at Dickey Stevens Park. It just happened to be the carpet.
I mean, I can bring a cot.
I mean, a pillow could just be a wadded up dirty towel.
Exactly.
Or some sweaty underwear.
I mean, if you're that committed, which I feel like I'm going to be, because this sounds like too good of a time.
It's like you've already been puking in an empty ice chest. You might as well use a dirty pair of underwear for a pillow.
And I might as well see a baseball game while I'm doing it.
So if
I was doing this in my free time.
If home is where the heart is, and home is also where you lay your head, Drew, I think home might be Razorback Road out there on the concrete on the pavement and just waiting to get in for hog pen tickets. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for the opportunity to do a baseball broadcast from the hog pen. That was an idea I tried the first year. Look at that gorgeous berm out there, just begging to have us out there broadcasting amongst all the craziness. Because I did games at Dickey Stevens Park in the beer garden down the first base line, and that was dangerous, man. I mean, that was really dangerous. The nets weren't up then. Line drives would sail right over our heads. That was the smoking section of the ballpark too. So we'd be offered plenty of heaters and cigars, plus
well, that's nice of them.
Giant Budweisers and the like while we were broadcasting a game. And it's not like I need that stuff, but it is fun to be around people rather than in your own booth and kind of away from everybody. I like to be out there with people.
Yeah,
Even
really
with
get
Bubba.
the feel of the crowd.
But they're not going to let us do it. I think. I really think we could pull it off. Bubba wants to do a game from up on the top of the new building in right field.
Yeah, I don't know about the viewing angles and
I just
everything.
think he wants a place to throw me off of the balcony. I think he's tired
And just
of it
say
right
that
now.
you slipped.
Yeah, Zach says everything that you asked is allowed in the Hog.
Good.
Everything. Yeah, and I think Zach.
So if I commit a so-called crime, I'm just going to be like, Zach and Paragold said it was school.
Or just point to the person next to you. There's too many
like he
people
did.
out there, and nobody can really tell anyway. And if you're all shirtless, then no one can tell one from the other anyway.
Exactly.
Did you watch the Charlie Welch home run?
I did. I
against
watched
them?
that game live.
All right.
I remember that.
That's the crazy. That's
what I'm here for.
You know how I don't.
like it.
There is no such thing as 100%, but there is a 15 out of 10 if you're going to give rankings.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 15 out of 10 as far as atmosphere goes for the Hog Pen. I kind of wonder if it could ever get any crazier than it looked when Welch's home run sailed into that sea of red.
Well, I'm going to be stationed in the Hog Pen. I'll just have to convince Tommy to give me some equipment, and I'll do the show from there every Friday, every homestand. Because that's where I belong. Those are my people.
We're about 2.5 weeks away from getting this thing started, and everybody keeps asking, so you might as well answer. You're damn right. We're ready for baseball season. I'm always ready for baseball season. I'm also ready for the break. Ready for your calls and texts. 877-377-6963. Halftime coming right back.
People could have been happy if only things had turned out right. From now on, I'll be thinking of you. I'll dream of you, dear, every night. Somehow you wouldn't let me love you.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drug Store has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance.
Finding an assisted living or senior care facility is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Choose the best. Hopes Creek in Van Buren. At Hopes Creek, your loved one will be in apartment-style living, eating 3 home-style meals daily, and receive the care and services they need. The round-the-clock nursing staff monitors health needs in a secure, monitored environment. Plus, you can check on your loved one anytime with 24-hour access. Stop by for a visit at 2502 Fayetteville Road, or check out Hopes Creek online at hopescreek.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
All right. 2022 annual passes are now available at the Ben Guerin Golf Course. We offer a variety of plans to fit your budget and needs. We have special pricing on juniors, seniors, and military. If you're looking for the best golf value in the River Valley, then look no further than Ben Guerin Golf Course. Book your 2022 tournament outings now. For more information, call the Pro Shop at 646-5301, go to bengueringolf.com, or follow us on Facebook. When you think golf, think Ben Guerin.
Here it comes. Oh my goodness.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Then we wouldn't have to wait so long. And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we belong?
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Saw a piece on Sports Illustrated's website. You know, they had those fan-sided account, Fan Nation accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That was written by Kent Smith on the SI Fan Nation All Hogs.
Yeah.
And he's making a point that Bud Walton Arena is still living off of its reputation, or the crowd. You know, the atmosphere is living off of its reputation from back in the day, or even like when. I guess like the last Kentucky game or something like that. When you watch the Kentucky-Auburn game and you see all of these students that are lining up and making a big deal out of it and camping out.
Oh, my God, all 8,000 of them. Ooh.
And it's a tiny arena. Auburn Arena is incredibly small, one of the smallest in the league, if not the smallest in the league. So where Bud Walton has like almost 20,000, Auburn, you can't even fit 10,000 inside of it. It's a great arena. It's a great place for watching basketball, and it catches sound. Even if there's 4,500 in a building that small, it's going to sound incredibly loud. Now, I will say, like for Bud Walton, the sellout from the A&M game might be the only time this year so far where all the tickets were used. Like, I know that there is no way that every sellout has been a sellout this year, or in a lot of cases even close. So we see that number of 19,200, and you know that's not what you're getting. That's what you got against. That's what you got against A&M.
Yes.
That's what looked like was there. It sounded like it to me. Especially when they started all the hot, and then towards the end of the game, people try to get loud, and in the overtime, it felt like and sounded like what I imagine some of the big moments in Bud Walton Arena sounded like. But I know for those who were there, it doesn't sound or feel the same as, with Nolan in the late 90s and in the mid 90s when the arena was new and was really rocking, because from what I've read back then, it was on a game by game basis, like every game. And it feels like it's a little more difficult to fill the arena now, and in a building with that many seats, you got to get close to not a full house, but you need 13,000. You need 14,000, and for the students to be going crazy. I thought the students did a pretty good job helping set the atmosphere.
I thought it was phenomenal.
For the A&M game. I mean, you'd never been to a game at Bud Walton.
I hadn't. I thought that was a great introduction to this fan base and to what Bud Walton really is all about. I say it. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, how can you really be 100% sure? It's not like I carry around a decimal meter with me into every arena I've gone. But if not the loudest, definitely a top 3 loudest basketball game I've ever been to. And the fact of the matter that people told me that was nothing, that was like a 7 out of 10 or maybe an 8 out of 10. Like, I can't register what an actual 10 out of 10 would be. So maybe it was bigger. Maybe it was louder back in the day, but that was plenty loud. I mean, during tip-off, I had my elbows on the table and I was trying to take a picture of it, and the phone was shaking from the vibrations, from the movement and the noise in the building. Like, I couldn't get the phone to steady. I had to literally take my elbows off the table. Like, and that's before we even scored a single point. Before they even scored a single point. Like, it's an incredible atmosphere.
Well, and sometimes maybe it's just too big for filling it. I don't know. You know, I remember when Bud Walton first opened, and I didn't even live in Arkansas or anything. And they built an arena. How big? Where? In Fayetteville, Arkansas, and they filled it up for a while there. You know, people buy tickets now, but don't always show up. You got your excuses. You know, for a Wednesday evening game, you'll always hear about church. And I heard the same thing when I worked for the Travelers. We had Wednesday games. Like, well, why is the attendance a little lower?
No, because
people
go to church.
You've got your built-in excuse for that case. You know, the students, I heard there were students that were turned away from Saturday's game.
I'm sure there were. I mean, it was packed. I mean, I didn't know that you could technically have 3 student sections.
Well, there had to have been more students at the Razorback game than there were at the Auburn-Kentucky game. Just based on the number of seats alone.
Available, yeah.
So when we're
I mean, they're not giving out 8,000 student tickets at Auburn, are they?
I doubt it. Highly doubt it. It is a pretty small place, so they need the students to show up. But you have to. I feel you've got to be really careful when you are comparing one building to another, and there's such a differential in size. Like, it's apples to apples when you compare the programs. Arkansas and Auburn are SEC basketball programs with top-flight coaches that go into each season now with pretty high expectations. They go after many of the same players. That's apples to apples. The arenas, that ain't apples to apples. That's a different thing.
Unless you're talking about the comparison of arenas that seat the same amount that are the same size, it doesn't compare. Yeah, it does probably get pretty loud in an 8,000-seat arena when all 8,000 people are cheering because you're crammed in there. You're on top of each other. It's such a small place. You can't compare 8,000 to 19. I mean, that's just nobody in their right mind believes that comparison.
JT, did you catch a weave from Drew talking about the Razorbacks?
I knew somebody would pick it out.
Did you mean to say
I did not mean to say that. It came out wrong.
Wow.
Maybe it's my subconscious. I don't know.
I don't even try to say we. Even when I'm doing the broadcast for the teams, I try not to say we. I might throw one in there every once in a while, just forgetting what I'm trying to do. I never even want to say we.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
And yet you did. JT, you are listening incredibly close to this
I knew him or maybe a few other texters. Somebody was going to call me out because as soon as it came out of my mouth, you say that I saw that I caught it real quick because I was just rolling. I said before they even scored a point. Like, I made it roll real quick, and I knew somebody would catch it.
Greg wants to know about Auburn. They come here first. We go play there. Arkansas gets Auburn once this year.
At home.
And it's at home. It's at home at the Bud on February the 8th. That'll be we versus them, right, Drew?
That'll be they versus them.
That'll be they versus them. So we got to throw out our pronouns.
I know I've been pretty mad at Penny and the university, but that's still where my heart and my alliance belongs.
Well, you know, it's like comparing
maybe y'all are just
Stadium.
Maybe the state and all of you lovely people out here are growing on me. Man, so my subconsciously, maybe I want to be a we.
Well, but
I'm not there yet.
No, we need now we need you to grow on them. If they've grown on you, that's great. And it's got to be the other way around if you're going to stick around for a while, you know? I don't know if they view you as moss or a fungus or whatnot, or just something that they kind of or like a sourdough starter. It just takes a little bit of time for it to get where they want it to be. You're growing on them.
Yeah, I feel like I am. I feel like with every show, I become more part of somebody else's routine, something that they're used to hearing from 11 to 1. And hopefully most people don't hate those 2 hours of their day.
I apologize. I just realized I compared you to yeast. That's not a good, nice thing to do.
I'm fine. That's fine. It didn't bother me.
With on a day-by-day basis. But, comparing Auburn Arena to Bud Walton Arena, and look, Auburn Arena is a heck of a lot nicer than the one that was that replaced, what was that, Beard Eves, I think was the name of the previous Auburn Coliseum. It's like, it's the same with Old Maid. Like, they built a nice new building because the Tad Pad was an absolute dump.
It was old, yes.
And the pavilion is nice and new, but it's tiny.
It doesn't seat anymore, yeah.
It's cute. You can't compare the atmospheres. In a 20,000 seat arena like Bud Walton and a 9,000 seat building like the Pavilion. It's the same as comparing Baum-Walker Stadium to Tennessee's baseball park.
Not even close.
Tennessee's baseball park would fit in a quarter of Baum-Walker Stadium.
Well, they've expanded it in the last few years, but when I was in high school, last time I was there, it was like it's set maybe 1,000 people.
Well, they maybe can fit like 3,000, 3,500 in there now. So that crazy atmosphere that we saw in the series between those programs last year was like a drop in the bucket for what a big crowd at Baum-Walker Stadium is like. So you got to be careful. I thought the atmosphere for the A&M game was great. I thought it was terrific. You need to do it again, and with the students back, with the team rolling now in conference games. You got Auburn at home. Don't tell me it's a Tuesday night. Show up, use the tickets, sell the place out, and actually make it butts and seats sell out. Same with Kentucky and Alabama and Tennessee. Is this team? Hey, Jalen Williams said, it's like they're another teammate. Be a sixth man. All right, second hour coming up after the break. 877-377-6963. Jesse in Mount Home. That's the text of the year.
I love it.
It was an accomplishment, and it was a nice thing to call Drew yeast because you can't have whiskey without it. Brilliant, Jesse. We appreciate your unpaid work. All right, stick around. Halftime continues after this.
Attention residents of Cedarville, Natural Dam, and Uniontown. If you're suffering from slow, terrible internet service, Wave Rural Connect is bringing fast internet to you. The Cedarville zone will be opening up February 3rd, and it is time to pre-register at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 for fast fiber internet, television, and phone. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the upper 30s north, mid-40s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, and overnight low mid-teens north, low 20s south. And then returning to sunshine on Wednesday with our high in the upper 30s to lower 40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The Hit That Line podcast network is now available on Pandora Music and Podcasts. Just open your app or browser and search Hit That Line.
I hate everything you just said.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And into hour number 2 on this beautiful yet cold Tuesday across the natural state. Phil Elson, Matty T, Drew Barrett. 877-377-6963 to get with us. And, boy, we killed the last 2 segments of stuff we had no plan on even talking about. So, and a lot we can get to. Get the National Baseball Hall of Fame announcement in 5 hours. Is anybody going to get elected? Nobody did last year. It's one of those things where baseball... And the Baseball Hall of Fame is not run by Major League Baseball or the writers, but it's like for a sport right now that has a lot of bad press and bad pub and trying to figure out how to make it more popular, not electing players into the Hall of Fame is never a good way to, keep things positive and popular.
Well, it's because it doesn't help when baseball fans and baseball diehards like you and me are so mad at the way that these organizations and the Major League Baseball in general are ran, and then you throw in the Hall of Fame and Baseball Writers of America Association and everything else, that when we, people that love and live and die for this stuff, when we come on here and get angry and mad, which we have every right to do, we've invested a lot of time, heart, and soul into baseball. When we get mad, I don't see why it would anybody that's not a baseball fan would really want to sign up for this life and start to watch baseball, because if the diehards seem to hate it half the time, which, it's probably not a good thing that we do talk so badly about Rob Manfred and about everything else goes on in baseball. It doesn't help to build the game. But then again, I'm also not going to lie and say that everything fine and dandy and hunky-dory in baseball land, because it's not. Everything is on fire, and we need something to put it out. And all this does with the Hall of Fame, if they don't put some of these guys in, it's just adding fuel to the fire.
Well, it's really just, I think it's the old guard, kind of hanging around and utilizing their votes until they're, figure that they're done writing in the next 2 or 3 years. A lot of these guys are going to be retired within the next, I think, 3 to 5 years. And there are fewer voters now than there have been in a long time, or maybe ever. And so I think the newer voters have a more nuanced way of viewing the whole PED thing. And that's where I think you're seeing more of the uptick in voting for guys like Bonds and Clemens. But I want, David Ortiz was tied to a positive test, possibly in 2003, and nobody ever brings that up with him. It's always, and A-Rod is now a first-time ballot guy. He's not going to get in now, but he's probably going to make it in. He's done such an amazing job of trying to rehab his image that I've actually grown to dislike him more as a commentator, and we'll be skipping out on the A-Rod Manning cast steal thing, whatever it is they did. Anyway, we'll get to that in a bit. The tuna's on hold. Charlie, I love now that not only are you calling us and referring to yourself as the tuna sometimes, but now you're even signing your texts, tuna. So, yeah, he's bought into the nickname, and there's reason to do it. Charlie, it's good to hear from you. What's up?
Man, I'm all for it. But, I feel like I got to create a nickname for you three as well eventually. I really don't know what it's going to be.
Well, maybe your coworkers and friends and family may be calling you tuna at some point, too. Then we've really hit pay dirt.
Yeah, you guys just figured. Maddie's really the guy that deserves all the credit. He really figured out. And Drew had no idea. He was just like, what the heck?
I was just going along with it.
The big yeast.
Anyway, Drew, I just wanted to say to you, man, I really feel a little bit, you coming after me yesterday about that overtime comment. Hey, listen, I wasn't, here's the deal. I'm with the missus, by the way.
So no cursing. No cursing when you're next to the missus.
No, I agree with her, but here's the deal. I'm not saying that the rule is a bad rule. I think it's a good rule. It is. It was just frustrating not to see Josh Allen get on the field per se. It happened to Mahomes 3 years ago or 4 years ago or whatever it was. When, those two defenses couldn't stop each other, and Brady got the ball first. He went down the field and won. So, it is what it is. I'm glad at least it's not just a field goal now. I will say that, but I'm not one of those guys that cries and moans and groans about the rule. It would have been great because Josh Allen played great. It would have been great to see him. If the score was 10-10, then it would have been different. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have felt that way. But anyway, hopefully someday they look at that. If they don't, they don't. It just is what it is. People need to get a stop in overtime. But anyway, here's my deal about I was listening to Must Talk yesterday, and it just. It's frustrating sometimes when you listen to him as far as because he makes these comments about us, shooting so good in practice and we're not able to carry it over to the game. And then he makes another comment. I'm like, I would not have thought this. He said, in practice, sometimes we don't do as well from the free throw line, but we go to the game and we make them. It reminds me because when I played in high school, I was one of the only two white guys on the team, but we used to have this guy in practice. I swear to God, he did not miss. We get to the game, he could not make a shot. It is a different type of feel, when you're, it's a different between making it in practice and making it in the game. It's totally different, and I'm proud of this staff for just, saying, what, the heck with it. Let's change it up. Let's go big, and let's just be a different type of team. So, Chris Light, he made a comment about Chris Light. I started scratching my head. He said he wants him to go faster, and I'm like, yeah, he's faster than everybody out there. The only problem that I have with him is sometimes he's going so fast he forgets to take the ball with him. I don't know what it is about him always fumbling the ball around.
Yeah, he leaves the ball behind sometimes. Well, as I started talking, I guess Charlie figured that was it.
My time's done here.
Well, I was starting to converse with him a little. Charlie's got a little bit of Eddie in Clarksville in him, minus the screaming and the ranting and the hog delight and all that, but he does do lengthy calls, but he makes a point with it. And then hangs up when we start talking. You're absolutely right about. Musk knows it's not. He knows the answer. He knows if you say, I don't know why we can't take what we're doing in practice as far as shooting to the game. He knows that very well. Nobody that's been around coaching that long doesn't understand that what you do in practice doesn't always carry over to the game. That's the coach's job to get these guys prepared, have them, do whatever drills it is that they need, and then it's the guys that have to do it during the game, and coaches will make adjustments and whatnot, but if shots aren't going down, shots aren't going down. It's the same, you hear a pitcher tell you, I don't know what happened to me. I had my stuff in the bullpen when I was warming up, and I couldn't do it in the game. You know what? There was a batter standing there in the game. That made a huge difference.
He threw me
umpire calling pitches. That made a huge difference.
That batter wouldn't have been in that batter's box. I would have thrown 100 strikes out of 100 pitches. I mean, that's just how it always is. Some days it's just you don't have the stuff. Some days the ball doesn't bounce your way. It just doesn't find that circle there in basketball, and unfortunately, as much as you want to look at the coaches and, figure out what's the problem and something that Eric Musselman and the coaching staff can fix, ultimately it does break down to Eric Musselman has not taken a shot for the Razorbacks all season. Eric Musselman will not take a shot for Arkansas all season. So ultimately it does fall on these players. It's up for the coaching staff to put them in the best situation, best rotation, best lineups out there to get the job done. And I think that we're seeing a combination of the coaching staff figuring all their stuff out and the basketball team of actually having the hot hand of shooting the ball pretty well. And we saw that, exampled more than anything against A&M in the first half when they shot 50% from beyond the arc.
You know what I think does carry over from practice, though, is defensive effort. And you're seeing that, I think. And Muss has been pretty upfront. It's starting with defense for this team right now, and this team's going to win via playing great defense. Halftime is brought to you by Riley Farms Dental. Our friends Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan serving to give all their patients better lives and comfortable experiences in the dental chair. They'll provide all your procedures, braces, implants, cosmetics, and the simple stuff. That's Riley Farm Dental, been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. Go to RileyFarmDental.com. You can call for an appointment at 226-3500 or visit them at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, Riley Farm Dental. Halftime is 877-377-6963. We got texts to get to. Tera Talmadge coming up in 20 minutes. And a very special sports anniversary. And we'll talk about after this on Halftime.
There's no sign of life. It's just the power to charm. I'm lying in the rain, but I never wave bye-bye. But I
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Tommy and Ty on the Morning Rush. Paint the game with a golden brush. Halftime field show, diamonds today. Strike 'em out, love to sing. Russian sack are 2 insane skies. Hot score, I'm feeling so high. Going home wild on Dixon Street.
ESPN 95.3.
Attention residents of Cedarville, Natural Dam, and Uniontown. If you're suffering from slow, terrible internet service, Wave Rural Connect is bringing fast internet to you. The Cedarville zone will be opening up February 3rd, and it is time to pre-register at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 for fast fiber internet, television, and phone. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Nobody has more pre-owned trucks than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. Work trucks, heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks, single cab, extended cab, and four-wheel drive crew cab trucks. Fords, Chevys, GMCs, Dodge, Ram, and Nissans. And with historic low interest rates, no payments for 90 days, and the most for your trade, Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford is the only place to buy your next truck. Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Frank Row Furniture is having a New Year's sale the whole month of January. Even little Marley has been running around the store marking down prices.
You better hurry before they catch me.
Frank Row Furniture is family owned, has in-store no credit check financing, and service after the sale. Frank Row Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas.
Let's eat the mouse.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Let me run with you tonight. I'll take you on a moonlight ride.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right. Tera Talmadge coming up in the next segment. What are you going to do? Baseball Hall of Fame or anniversary of Super Bowl 32? Let's do the Super Bowl thing.
Okay.
Super Bowl 32 anniversary today. That's the 98 Super Bowl for the 97 season. Just thinking about it because of all, so Aaron Rodgers, hopefully he retires. I'm over him. Been over him for a long time. If he retires, he played in one Super Bowl and won it. One Super Bowl for an incredible career. And, the list goes to Dan Marino and who after that, never really was able to get there. Amongst the greats, Jim Kelly got to 4, never won a Super Bowl. And we always kind of think Marino made it his second year, so he was going to make it 18 times after that second season when Montana and the Niners destroyed them at Stanford Stadium. And he never got back. Rodgers probably isn't going to get back either. So this 98 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 32, this was the coronation of John Elway. You remember this? This was the Super Bowl where he did the helicopter dive towards the end zone, and Terrell Davis was the MVP. Boy, is that a career that unfortunately the knee injuries took him down. But Elway, he was 37. He was 37 and had already lost 2 Super Bowls. It took him 14 years to finally win one, and then he wins another one and then goes out on top.
Yeah.
It's Elway versus Favre in 1998 Super Bowl in San Diego at a stadium that doesn't even exist anymore. The Q, Qualcomm Stadium, Jack Murphy Stadium, all of its different names. And remember, Favre and the Pack had won the year before. I remember
against
going
New
into
England,
that,
right?
Yeah,
and New
Drew
Orleans.
Bledsoe. And the going into that year, I forget how many wins they reeled off, but a lot of people are thinking this is the team that's going to go undefeated. And they ended up with 3 losses and were favored by 11. This was supposed to be a coronation of Brett Favre moving forward. He already had won the year before. Favre never made it back after that Super Bowl, in which he was outplayed by Elway. The Bronco defense was terrific. Now, it took Elway 14 years to win a Super Bowl. Favre won one in, I think it was his 5th season, and then never made it back for 12 years until he finally retired with Minnesota. So you think of all these young quarterbacks in the league right now and how exciting they are. You never know if they're ever going to get there, man. You just don't. You just don't. For, a Kyler Murray or even like a Matthew Stafford. Stafford's terrific. He's not a young quarterback anymore, but he's never been there.
It's taken him a long time to get to this point where he's been around actual talent, outside of Detroit in his first year in L.A. So you feel like if it's not now, when is it going to be? Because the Rams are in a win-now mode. There is no tomorrow when it comes to Los Angeles Rams, just due to the fact of all the money that they spent, and you're not going to be able to keep that roster 100% together in the offseason. So it's win now, or who knows when it's going to be. And when you talk about the young guys, I think in alternative universes where Patrick Mahomes didn't exist, where a few other guys weren't still around, that they'd have a lot better shots. But, I mean, who's to say that if not now, for Joe Burrow, when's it going to happen? You'd like to think that the Bengals have a long, good, and prosperous future ahead of them with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and that combination that you got in the passing game. But who's to say opening game next season, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase doesn't hurt their knee and it's done. I mean, there's so many things that go into football that you can predict and say that they're going to be the team of the future, and then a few things fall off, few teams rise, come out of nowhere, and there's such a finite amount of time for when a team gets hot that if they don't capture it now, they may never. And I don't think that is the Bengals this year with Joe Burrow, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's not, because we've seen it happen over and over again with so many quarterbacks and so many teams.
Bobby mentions that if the Niners win against the Rams in the NFC title game, then Jimmy Garoppolo will have been to more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers. A little difficult to wrap your mind around it. Yeah, he's already lost once, but and it feels like I don't think Garoppolo is just a game manager. I mean, he's made some pretty big plays. I think he leads either the conference or the NFL in pass yards per completion. So I don't view Garoppolo just as a game manager, but amongst the 4 that are left, he is the most game manageriest of any of them. But doesn't it feel like any opportunity to be a Trent Dilfer or a Brad Johnson? I mean, I just mentioned the 2 Bucs quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls outside of Brady, or at least got to the Super Bowl. Like the era of those quarterbacks are done. But it's nuts to think like Trent Dilfer, who was the first pick of the draft, by the way, won a Super Bowl, and Marino never did. It's tough. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with a tremendous postseason.
Joe Flacco's elite.
Flacco was the reason that they won.
Miracle in Mile High? Come on. I almost ran off the road. I was listening to that game on the radio, trying to get to a buddy's house to watch the game with him, and there was traffic or something going on, and I was listening to the game on the radio and literally almost ran off the road when Joe Flacco to Antoine Bolton down the far right side to take the lead in Mile High Stadium. All right, so Joe Flacco, he's elite. I got a shirt that says it, so I wouldn't put Joe Flacco in that category.
JT says, he's, of course, bringing up the Cowboys, haven't had an all-time great at quarterback in 25 years.
Romo was pretty good.
I think Romo was really good. It was the reason that they didn't win playoff games.
How many people live up to the Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach comparison? Not too many.
Well, I think that those Cowboys teams in the 90s, that's a tough comparison to anybody. That offensive line and Emmitt Smith, I'm sorry. It's the Cowboys that didn't have that O-line, and they didn't have Emmitt Smith either. I think Troy Aikman, as great as he was, I don't know. There are things about Romo I liked over him. Anyway, JT, appreciate you bringing up the fact that the Cowboys haven't been to a Super Bowl in that long, and it'll continue, of course.
Yes, it will.
877-377-6963. I was an Elway fan there, and then the Broncos that season beat the Steelers to go to the AFC Championship, to go to the Super Bowl, and it didn't. I mean, it bothered me, but it really didn't crush me.
Yeah, because I feel like Elway was one of those feel-good stories that if everybody, whether you like the Broncos or not, you just kind of wanted to see him get it done, right?
He was easy to root for unless you had something against his teeth. That was the one thing, like my friends in school, and I picked Elway as my favorite non-Steeler in the 80s, and they would make fun of his teeth. Be like, if that's all you got on him, fine.
And he seems like a pretty cool dude.
Well, and then he get blown out by the Redskins and blown out by the Giants, and then get back for all those years, And one of the main things was everything was on Elway. Everything was on Elway. They didn't have a running game, had a decent defense, but you add a guy like Terrell Davis. Davis was amazing. I think we kind of forget a little bit about how
much of an impact he really had.
Amazing of a running back he really was. And the fact that Favre never made it back, and he had a couple of opportunities too, and Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre kind of share a little bit of that same thing.
It just feels like for
early in their Packers career, and then nothing for a long time
for both of them, and you can't say that it's been an uphill climb in the playoffs. For most of Aaron Rodgers' career, the Packers have never been below the 3 seed line. Like they've had the clear home field advantage path to the playoffs year in and year out, and just seem to ultimately always come up short. But on the flip side of that, I feel like they constantly, with Aaron Rodgers, have exceeded expectation of what type of talent they really have in Green Bay. I think Aaron Rodgers, while he's only won one Super Bowl, I think that as far as regular season goes, he could be one of the best regular season quarterbacks of all time, just due to the fact that he has won more with less than anybody else.
But once the regular season's over and your record says what you've done in that regular season, then you're kind of expected to continue that in
continue
the
the success.
And there have been too many home losses in the playoffs, I think, for Rodgers to be considered like a great playoff quarterback. All right, halftime's brought to you by Wave Rural Connect. They're live right now in their Clarksville zone. That covers areas south of, areas north and west of. Clarksville, Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, and the areas in between. So if you live in those areas and you're a member of Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative, and you hate your terrible overpriced internet that keeps buffering and just stinks, well, Wave Rural Connect is the best choice that you can find for fastest internet. Internet starts at $49.95 per month at Wave Rural Connect. Just call them at 833-4WAVE-RC, 833-4WAVE-RC, or go online, signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric, changing the communities that they serve. We're going to be talking with Tera Talmadge from Pig Trail Nation as halftime continues.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas. With its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a...
When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland,
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
BetOnline has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness. House-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles. Served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Houston means that I'm one day closer to you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Matty said it was a coincidence, but I know it's not, because one of our favorite native Houstonians is joining us here on Halftime. She is Tera Talmadge from Pig Trail Nation, and I don't believe that was a coincidence. Tera, do you?
Hey, you know what? I appreciate the throwback on that one. I love it.
Good. Well, we won't ask you to sing, but
thank you. Yeah, no one wants to hear
when
that.
Master Matthew Travis is playing the songs on this show, you just never know what's going to happen. So
I love my themes.
Yeah. So Tera, we've got this affiliation going on here. We've got to get everybody from Pig Trail Nation on Halftime at some point. So we had a really good time with Nick last week. Thank you very much for the aid on the name pronunciation for Nick. And
yes,
now we got to get you on here. So we're the ones with the faces for radio, but now you've got the voice for radio. So thank you so much for coming on.
I'm excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you what you think about the situation with Arkansas defensive football assistant coaching right now. You know, coaches have to head coaches make hires, and that's probably the most important thing that they do. And I think Sam Pittman has done a fantastic job hiring his assistants. So I don't see any reason why, you know, when you're looking at the players that are coming here to play for him right now, that are transferring in from other programs that even won national titles or played from them, you know that there are going to be some coaches that are knocking down the door to get here too.
Absolutely. So it's not like a, the sky is falling situation and his assistants are dropping like flies or anything. It's interesting for sure, especially with everything that happened with the defensive backs that all kind of got together and decided to transfer. But at the same time, like you mentioned, Sam Pittman's a very good coach, and I think he's hired the right people on that staff, and they all want to be there. And there's plenty of good quality coaches that would love to be on that staff as well. It's just a matter of who he thinks is the best fit. And so I know that there's a couple of guys they're looking at for especially the defensive line job, but nothing's obviously for sure. So we'll just have to wait and see.
What do you think? Not the reasoning for why Jermichael Ashley was let go, but what might have been lacking in what was going on the defensive line for Coach Pittman to think he needs to make that change, because that's the only coach that he's fired.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is recruiting, because we know that Sam Pittman has done that before. He's let coaches go because of their lack of recruiting. And the defensive line was great this past year, but you look at it and about, three of those guys were pretty much all transfers. And so you need to be able to restock and get some good talent in there. And I don't know exactly how that all went down, but again, Sam Pittman has done this in the past, where if you can't bring in and recruit good talent, then you're not a good fit for his staff. So that's probably one of the big factors of why Coach Ashley was let go.
Yeah, and outside of the transfer portal last year and the three big defensive linemen, there really hasn't been that. You got the LSU transfer this year, but outside of the portal, there really hasn't been that big splash at defensive line. So I can definitely see that. And Tara, when it comes to the experience that the coaching staff at Arkansas has, when you just talk about Sam Pittman and Barry Odom, just the years of experience, the different staffs that they've both been on, I think that everybody should have faith that they're going to make the right hire. Do you think that it's going to be somebody that could, somewhat fall under a Barry Odom coaching tree, if there is one? Is it going to be somebody that he's worked with in the past, or do you think it might fall under more of a Sam Pittman previous stop, where Sam goes out and gets his guy and then Barry's kind of have to deal with it?
I'm not sure how that dynamic works between the two of them. I feel like Sam Pittman has a lot of trust, obviously, in Barry Odom, and whoever he wants to bring in is probably going to be the ones that they really take seriously. But at the same time, it's Sam Pittman's staff at the end of the day. So I'm sure that he has the final word. I have heard from our Otis Kirk that they're looking at a guy who's a Missouri assistant, or former Missouri assistant, Brick Haley, for that defensive line job. So there's your Barry Odom kind of tie-in right there. But I'm not sure. I'm sure that they're looking at a bunch of different guys right now. I would say that probably Barry Odom is the one really looking into who he wants on his defensive staff.
Yeah, before we get into basketball, because obviously that's one of the biggest stories going on around the natural state, do you have one last football question? Not a lot of people knew about it. It was obviously scheduled, KJ Jefferson's knee surgery. Is he going to be 100% ready to go by spring practice, or is this something that he's not going to be close to 100 until summer practice type of thing?
Well, so the main thing is that it didn't sound like it was a very serious surgery. It's a big deal, obviously, because it's your knee. And he is a dual threat quarterback, so that throws you off for sure. I would hope that he is 100% by spring. I'm not entirely sure, but at the same time, the big thing is that we didn't really know how bad this was. And he played all season on pretty much a bum knee. And it's crazy to think about the performances that he was able to pull off when he wasn't 100%. So just thinking about another year under Kendall Briles, another year of development in this coaching staff and this system, and then you add in the fact that he's going to be 100% healthy, that's got to be so exciting for that staff and that team and fans.
You mentioned staff. Offensive staff has stuck together. There can't be a coincidence here, and the idea that that's the side of the ball right now that you have probably a little more confidence in moving forward just because you know who is coming back. Admittedly, losing Traylon Burks is huge, but you feel like Jaden Hasselwood can at least step into that number one receiver role and be a real number one receiver. In the defense, there's a little more questions right now, and so that's where the only openings are on the staff. To me, this kind of works out. It feels right.
Yeah, I agree. You look at that offensive side of the ball, and like you mentioned, you've got new talent coming in at receiver, which is exciting. You've got some good quality tight ends. You've got a good quarterback. You've got a running backs group that is pretty stacked. You've got an offensive line that's been working together for a while. You got some guys coming back as well. And so there's a lot of good things on that side of the ball. And also, you haven't lost any staff members on that side either. And so when you have the defensive side where you have a lot of DBs that are gone, your defensive line is pretty much gone, a lot of your linebackers are gone, there's a lot of questions as to who's going to fill those shoes. I think one of the biggest surprises for me was Andrew Parker leaving. So there's a lot of question marks because it's great that you got Bumper Pool back. That's a win for the defensive side of the ball. It's great you get Jalen Catalon back. But then what? So there's a lot to figure out over the summer.
Yeah, there is. But luckily, we're sitting here at January 25th and not August 25th and trying to figure out these same questions. There's plenty of time, plenty of discussion to be had, not only by the coaching staff, but us talking heads and fan bases alike. One thing that is happening right now, Arkansas basketball on the 4-game win streak, and I think it isn't a coincidence that it's kind of coincided with the rise of play for Jalen Williams. And in your opinion right now, who do you think is more valuable to the team? Is it J.D. Notae or is it Jalen Williams? Because as he's played better, the Razorbacks have been better.
That's so hard because I really think they're both so crucial to this team. Like, you sit both of those guys on the bench, and it just dramatically changes things. Honestly, it's kind of scary how dramatically it changes things. But at the same time, I probably have to go with Jalen Williams because he can help you big time on both ends. And the fact that he's putting up a lot of double-doubles recently and he's helping defensively, obviously he's known for pretty much taking all those charges. He's just such a playmaker for this team. And he's so consistent right now that it would be hard for me to think of someone being more important to this team.
What it feels to me, and I think JD is a great scorer, but there's a little bit of an out-of-control feel sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Shot selection, that kind of thing. What you feel from Jalen always is a calmness. He always looks calm. Like, there are moments he's going to get fired up, and we see him exhort the crowd and all that kind of stuff. But he exudes a calmness, and I don't think you can overstate that.
No, I completely agree. And I get what you're saying about Notae as well. I mean, it is great that he is a pretty consistent guy for Arkansas, and he's one of the top scorers. I mean, he's the top scorer in the SEC. But that out-of-controlness, I think, it's part of the whole point guard issue with this team. It's been something that I feel like has been a topic of conversation since the very beginning of the season. They tried to figure out who's going to be their point guard, and you have 3 or 4 guys that are not exactly like great ball handlers. So you get some of that out of controlness when you do that. So that's something they've been trying to work through, I think. And the good thing for this team is that they're hitting their stride. I think it took them a while to get going, but they're finally learning how to play together and what their style is. Like, what's your identity? Because for the longest time, we just didn't know. And I don't think they knew either was the issue. So I think it's getting on the up and up for this team.
And you talk about the up and up and how the guys are starting to come together and play together. And it feels like Muss has decided on the 7 guys that he's going forward. Do you think there's room out there on the court for KK Robinson, for Jackson Robinson, for Connor Vanover, heck, for even Chris Likes? I mean, he played 10 minutes on Saturday, but a lot of that was when J.D. Notae went out, and I think he had the lowest plus minus of anybody left. Is there room on the court for those guys, or if we see them, that means something bad has really happened?
Oh, it's hard. It's like obviously there's not enough room for all of them. I'll just go ahead and say that. There's not enough. I do think that certain players that you mentioned do add something to the game. Like being able to throw Chris Likes in there every now and then is not a bad thing. He had a bad game, clearly, but I don't think that he's a bad player for this team. You mentioned Connor Vanover. I mean, he's barely gotten into the game. Like, I don't really know what's going on there, but I mean, he's 7 foot whatever, so it's hard to be really bad. It's just there's a lot of guys that have talent on this team, and it's hard when you bring in so many transfers that are clearly talented and experienced, because you have guys that are now just sitting on the bench. Like Jackson Robinson had a couple of really good games early on in the season, and then we haven't seen him very much. So that's not to say he's not going to get in the game, but I do think it's going to take a very specific situation to give him another big shot like he's had in the past.
Yeah, I think so too. Tara, we're up against it, so we'll leave it there. Appreciate you coming on, and looking forward to having you on again as we keep this affiliation going. And
of course.
It's always fun talking with you, Tara. Thanks.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Tara.
Got it. Tera Talmadge from Pig Trail Nation. We're gonna try to get one of the members of Pig Trail Nation on each week, so that should be fun. You know what else is fun? Tuesdays at Joe's Grill and Cantina. We love going there any day of the week. Tuesdays are quite special, though.
It's Taco Tuesday!
That's right. You get your crispy tacos for just $1 all day long at Joe's Grilling Cantina. The pork carnita tacos, $2 1/4, $3 1/4 for the brisket and pork belly tacos, and 75 cents for your sides of beans or rice. That's 3/4, by the way. It's all at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. Basketball on the TV tomorrow, so half-price apps and taps during the Razorback game. JoesFortSmith.com. You can order right there on the website or visit them across from the Harps. Wrapping halftime up next.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Whether you are visiting one of Arkansas's beautiful national parks, or traveling, or maybe just living the RV lifestyle, Breeden RV has everything you'll need to make your trip a successful one. We have new travel trailers starting at just $158 a month, all the way up to Class A, B, and C motorhomes, and fifth wheels from all the names you know and trust: Thor, Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and more. Check out the great selection of pre-owned inventory, and we are actively looking to buy your RV as well. Have a safe and happy new year from your friends at Breeden RV. BreedenRVs.com.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Is this the right decision? Living with an aging parent can bring stress, uncertainty, and guilt. Ease those emotions and trust that they are safe and happy at Dalton's Place at Waldron. Living in this community improves the health, nutrition, and housing for your loved one, regardless of income. Private apartments allow your mom or dad to keep their independence while their health is always monitored. Contact us today to see if your loved one qualifies. Dalton's Place at Waldron, 520 West 2nd Street. Your well-being first.
Start your 2022 with a splash and save $5,000 off a fiberglass in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here from my friends at Burton's. There's no better way to start 2022 than planning the backyard of your dreams with a fiberglass in-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. And for a limited time, the first 15 customers that respond to this ad save up to $5,000 off their fiberglass in-ground pool. This offer will probably not last through the month, so you better hurry to Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and save $5,000 off a fiberglass in-ground pool. pool. Invest in your family and the backyard of your dreams at Burton Pools and Spas. In Springdale, just off I-49 at the 412 exit, and on Zero Street in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City! Come on over, baby. Whole lot of shaking going on.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Wrapping things up here on halftime. 877-377-6963 for anything you got for us. Anybody going to get into the Hall of Fame? I think David Ortiz will make it in. He may be it. He may be it. Big Poppy.
I have to look back at the list again here. Let me scroll up here. I think David Ortiz gets in. I don't think Bonds Clemens gets in. I mean, heck, if you let Bonds and Clemens in, A-Rod should get in. Then I guess
it's really a matter of how long you make them wait in that case. But this is the last opportunity for both Bonds and Clemens to make it into the Hall of Fame on the writers' ballot, and then you've got there's the various era committees which are made up of players and executives and whatnot. So you feel like eventually they'll get in. It's just a matter.
Are they going to be alive to see it?
Well, and there's something to me that delegitimizes the Hall of Fame when you don't have the hit king, when you don't have the home run king, you don't have the guy that won 7 Cy Young Awards. And I'm over the piousness of performance-enhancing drugs. I've been through that so many times now, and I'm not interested in it anymore. And for the Pete Rose gambling thing, I feel like he paid his penance by now. And I view the Hall of Fame more as a living museum than a hall of a public image that we want to believe in people. Look, if we're going by the person,
good people. Ty Cobb would never have been in,
and many others wouldn't have made it in. And the argument of Bonds and Clemens breaking records because they were using illegal substances. Well, Clemens was pitching against hitters that were juicing. Bonds was hitting against pitchers that were juicing. And this was so prevalent through the game that to single out or duel out 2 guys like this, for me, it doesn't sit well with me. And it's the writers that are doing this. It's the older writers that are doing this. It is a piousness, an overly pious attitude about how they view the Hall of Fame. But you know what? They earned their votes by being writers, the Writers Association for 10 years, and they get those votes until they die or until they give it up. So,
yeah. Well, the thing when it comes to PEDs, I am conflicted because part of me, wants to live in the la land of everybody should be a good person and that there is no gray area, that there's right and wrong, and technically they did wrong. They technically cheated, and you shouldn't be rewarded for cheating and for knowingly cheating. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, everyone in the steroids era knew what they were doing. Now, was it more accepted, especially in the beginning, because everyone was doing it, yes, but part of me wants to be with the baseball writers and say, no, they cheated. They shouldn't be rewarded and shouldn't be memorialized for cheating. But then the other part of me really does realize that there is a gray area in every part of life, and baseball is no different. And when the entire steroids era was technically a gray area, because even though there were players that weren't taking steroids, I feel like we'll never know the exact percentage and the exact number of how many Major League Baseball players were taking PEDs. I mean, that's just not something that you're ever going to get 100% of people throughout Major League Baseball at that time between those years to openly admit whether they did it or not. So we don't know the exact numbers, but we do know that they were high. So it's almost you had to do it to compete and to stay at that level. It was almost just as much a part of the game as throwing, hitting, fielding. I mean, it became so ingrained in baseball that in order for you to stay at that level and to compete, that you had to do what everybody else was doing. Otherwise, you weren't going to be a Hall of Fame. You weren't going to pan out. And I get that point. And I get the point that so many people like to like you, that you would say it's a living museum. And can you tell the story of baseball without Bonds and Clemens?
No,
I don't think you can.
Well, and there's parts of the Hall of Fame that literally just are a museum. Mm-hmm. And some people try to separate, the hall itself.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, you can have him in the hall, but not in the hall, and I think that's another gray area that people are trying to navigate and get around.
Is tell the story of what happened in their careers. Be honest about these things. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe the font on the plaque has to be a little bit smaller than it was for guys like Mickey Mantle.
Go with the asterisk angle.
But they don't put on Mickey Mantle's plaque that he was drunk for a quarter of his at bats, do they?
No.
Or
that he was a notorious a-hole for the rest of his life.
Nor does it matter in that case, because they're going just by what he did on the field.
He got the job done, didn't he?
Yeah. He did get the job done.
That's right, my 2 cents.
And it wasn't a tale of two halves in a baseball game, though.
But a tale of 9 innings.
Right.
Unless
they go the extras.
That's the thing with these sayings. You got to really think them through sometimes.
Once again, gray area.
I think there's always something to the back of my mind. I've always felt like some players were open about their cheating and are in the Hall of Fame anyway. But look at Gaylord Perry for crying out loud,
Well, it's a different type of cheating. It's
needles.
Acceptive
It's
cheating.
the needle.
It's that. And we're running out of time. We need to get into this tomorrow. So
Talk really fast.
Do not erase it on the rundown. We will get more into this. But it's just the fact of that it was accepted cheating, where this is looked at as unacceptable, of crossing a line.
To be continued.
And yet the guy that was the commissioner while all this was happening, and he damn well knew it, Bud Selig is in the Hall of Fame. So we're a little bit
save it for tomorrow. We're going to run out of time.
Great to be with you guys for this Tuesday edition of Halftime. Tomorrow's a Wednesday, right? So Bill King and Clay Henry will join us. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Get up, get out, and get better.